I'm a very firm believer that if you're in the process of doing something to make yourself a better person, you have to kind of look at all aspects of your life. You can't just focus on one, because your mental health affects your physical health, and your physical health affects your mental health, and both of those also affect like your spiritual, your emotional, like your interpersonal like relationships and stuff. Like all of it feeds into other aspects of your life. And so when you're changing one thing, like, yeah, you should focus on like one thing at a time, because otherwise you're going to burn yourself out. But you also need to be aware of the other pieces in our lives. Like over a year ago, January of 2025, I was 300 pounds. 300. Like technically I was like 290 something, but you round it up, I was 300. And, for reference, I am 5'8". I am a taller lady, so that level of weight on me is portioned differently than someone who would be like 5 foot. Like a small girl, like, and everything. Like an extra 100 pounds on someone who has a smaller frame is going to look entirely different than someone who has an extra 150 pounds on a tall frame. Like that's just how bodies work. When you're taller, you have more places for the fat and stuff to go, and that's just how it falls. But one of the things, like I just kind of noticed today, I'm wearing one of my older dresses. When I had lost close to 60 pounds, one of the ladies at my church, she donated some clothes that she had to me and a couple of other ladies who had lost a lot of weight. They were too small for her, and she knew that our clothes that we have were too big. And so the shirt I am wearing, it's kind of like a summer dress, but it's this right here. And like, you can tell it's too big, like just kind of how like loose it looks, but then I can literally, I can tug it out like this. It's huge. Like I am close to 200 pounds. I am coming off of a GLP-1. I was having some abdominal issues. Abdominal. Like my abdomen. Like I was having lots of like intestinal pain in my small intestine. It was an everyday thing. And I got to the point where I just felt like I was taking too much of a risk with my health to continue using a GLP-1, especially after I can't say the word at the moment. I had made a very dedicated effort to not only like increase like walking and doing other things and hydrating and putting in more protein and putting in more fiber and stuff, things to like regulate my stomach, to make those type of side effects less, so that I could continue taking the shot every day or every week. And, you know, this is coming from someone who has had stomach issues for a very long time. I've had IBS since I was a kid. It runs in my family. And it was at the point where I was having stomach cramps several times a day, every single day. I would wake up with like this part right here of my stomach. Like it would be cramping when I would wake up. It would really hurt. Like it was painful to like get up and move around because it was just a sharp pain in my upper abdomen. And then it would go away. And then sometimes periodically through the day, it would just come back. It'd be this sharp little pain. And then I would go on and do my things. So I talked with my primary care physician, and we both agreed that we weren't going to up my dose. But I only had one shot left in my pack, and I wasn't really having any benefits from the shot anymore. Like I was getting the food noise back, I wasn't losing any weight. And so I made a decision that I was going to come off of a GLP-1 and lose the remainder of my weight on my own. And I did gain weight, which I expected to a degree, as almost everyone I've seen who comes off of a GLP-1, they gain weight. And I know a lot of mine is I do have food sensitivities, and the food noise comes back in. I have a E to the D with putting food in my mouth. Emotional eating. I like food a little too much. And then I have like food noise inside of my head that's telling me to eat all the time, and poor impulse control when it comes to food. Like I will admit, like on my desk by my TV, I have like a case of Coke and I have a thing of like a gummy worms. Like I don't really eat the gummy worms all that often. Like that's just like when I have like a little hankering for something sweet, I'll grab like a small handful and I'll eat those. But I am a Coke addict. Like I drink that every day. It is expensive in the long run when you go through a lot of soda. Like if you go through a lot of soda, you go through a lot of booze, you go through a lot of candy, it all adds up. It's ultra processed. It does not do good for your health. But on top of that, I also have my morning protein shake. I also have a bunch of egg white in here to up my protein. I think this when it's full is close to like 40 grams of protein. And so I like to start my mornings off with that just to get enough protein, because one of the other side effects I was having from not only the shot, but also from losing a butt ton of weight is my hair has thinned dramatically, and my hair is constantly like kind of falling out a little bit. Like there's like constant hair shedding. And one of the things that I've read that's really good for that is upping the protein. So I am adding more protein into my diet in hopes that my hair will stop thinning and I can get like baby growth and get more of my hair back, because my hair is like half the like this right here. This is thin to me. This is thin. For a lot of other people, this is probably pretty thick, but for me, this is thin. And I don't like it. I miss my hair. And one of the other things, like clothes-wise, like there's a dress. The skirt that goes with it is just this. It's a pretty pattern. The blues kind of match with the thing. I don't like, I know like the dress, it goes down to my knees. Like it is modest to a degree. But I prefer my skirts going down to my ankles. And I prefer that. And the necklace I'm wearing, this beautiful little thing, this actually belonged to my mama, my grandma. She passed away from pancreatic cancer. This was one of the necklaces she always wore. It's one of the few pieces of things I have from her. My older sister has some of the rings that she always wore. I have her necklace. And so that's like kind of like what we're doing. But outside of that, one of the other things is what I am doing on YouTube is largely for me. I have memory issues. I have ADHD, I'm bipolar, autistic, said it 100 times. I know it's probably annoying. Sorry, not sorry. But I do have memory issues. Like I have a hard time remembering things in the past. I have a hard time remembering what I did last week. And I have a hard time remembering what I looked like months and months ago. And so like I made a decision, because like when you're losing weight, they say take before and after photos, have these before and after photos. But I'm not only just fixing like my physical health, I am fixing my mental health. And so like I decided like I want to do kind of like this like online journal of it to a degree, like just to kind of track like how I'm doing physically, how I'm doing with like my mental health and all of these other little things. So like down the line when I am feeling better, I can go back through these videos and I can look at like where I was at like a year ago and be able to see how far I've come, see like what has changed and what I am doing. And did a little stop to go outside, got to take care of some of the chickens. Out here, one of them laid an egg. This is like I think her third or her fourth egg. It's a little fairy egg, it's tiny. I've mentioned before that the chickens and stuff, they're just kind of like free therapy. So I thought I'd come out here doing quite a bit of different things. So the way we have it set up, the coop right there in the back, the YN dots, these three right here, are inside the gray coop. And we have two babies that are inside the garage in the brooder that are old enough to actually come outside. They're going to be put over here. I'm going to move the gray coop, put it next to here, have it facing inside. That way, as they grow up, these chickens can see them, get used to them, and then once August hits, I can move them in during the nighttime. That way they're used to each other, and then the 8 babies will be split between this coop and then the one back there. But before I can put the babies in the gray one, I first have to clean it out, scrub it up and stuff, and get it prepared and move it into place and change the tarps on the top. So there's a lot of work and stuff to do inside like our chicken run and stuff. And speaking of the babies, I'll show you those guys now. The size difference between these two and the new babies that we got is just hysterical. Little bird rock in there is getting ready to fall asleep standing up. But this one right here is a Buff Orpington. This is a Calico Princess. The little white chicks are also Buff Orpingtons. The black and white ones right here are Australoops. And then we got some, and then there's 3 under there. You can barely see them, but they're all kind of huddled. But those are all bird rocks. This is the 3rd generation. Well, these two are the 3rd set of chicks that we got. We had 6, we now have 2. And then we got 8 more. We lost a lot of our flock to predators and snakes. And so have this on the top to kind of keep the snake from getting in, because like these parts up here are pretty wide and so they can get in. Got their food bucket and their bedding right up against this side, and then the water is in the back, checking it regularly, just trying to keep these guys alive because the snakes like to come into the garage, and we have a snake repellent sprayed across the front of the garage, so hopefully that'll deter the snakes. But this here is just chicken fluffy cuteness. I mean, like, look at the size difference. Like, that is just astronomical. Look how big these two are compared to the rest of them. Do be nice. But these are the new babies. Hopefully they're all hens. But these are the new ones.